Hi, my name is Julie from the VMware Carbon Black Technical Marketing team. And in this video, I will be focusing on a workflow example between two analysts in your SOC team and demonstrate how the alert enhancements will help team collaboration. Now, in this case here, we look at the screen of analyst number 1. He is a level 1 analyst, has already grouped his alerts by threat ID, and he wants to review all of the open alerts here on a particular watch list hit. He will go in and expand, view the alert details. Note that he immediately takes note of the alert ID, which he will be providing to the analyst number 2. And he could either go deeper into the alert triage tree or investigate further on this particular alert. Now, in this case today, we're going to focus on opening up the entire view of the alert details to have a wonderful overview, not just on the processes, but also on the command line, on the device itself. Maybe I want to understand the IP address or any sort of other information which are relevant for me. In the middle here, you can see that this analyst has the option to remediate, for example, to quarantine an asset or tune the watch list or inspect the file. He decides to work on this alert as marking it in progress, so his teammates actually understand that somebody is working on it. To make his life easier, he decides to work on the same category threat ID and marking all of these alerts in progress. And while he is investigating or understanding what is really happening here, he is now deciding that he wants to mark this particular alert in a true positive. So he changes it, he changes the status. And what we can see here is on the right-hand side, our new alert ID and threat ID history model, which actually wonderfully puts on a timestamp on all nodes present here. So he just makes a note and says, please investigate further and, for example, remediate this device directly. Again, this is a note for the level 2 analyst, which I will be showing in a second. Let's add this one first. We can see here that I was marking what needs to be done on this particular alert or threat. And let's now switch over to the view of the analyst number 2. Now, the analyst number 2 here really can have a different view, right? So he could actually have different filters, so based on his personal preference. However, as we already know, we have been noting down the alert ID, so we're going to search directly for the same alert ID he got from his colleague, from the analyst number 1. We can see that there are some nodes present here, so I may want to go in and review what has been asked here. The first part, of course, is like a couple of interesting facts about the threat ID, so reports, parent processes, command line, or user. But what I want to really look into here is some expanded alert details another time. Again, please note here that the user experience is pretty much the same as for the analyst number 1. However, as an analyst number 2, I may want to focus on very specific details which I'm interested in analyzing and investigating, such as the hash or the MD5, etc. Please also here in the middle note that now I have the option to go live on this particular device, which actually connects me to a remote shell through the Carbon Black Cloud console and helps me to remediate and, for example, clean up a device directly here within the Carbon Black Cloud console. Without going much deeper into our live response feature, just to demonstrate a bit of the workflow. As an analyst number 2, as I said, we can again define if we want to make a couple of adjustments, maybe on the watch list, or maybe we want to delete an application. Again, on the right-hand side here, I have a good overview about the history of my alert or of my threat. I can see who has been making the note, at which date, and I can just respond within this module and say the case is resolved, everything is okay, go ahead. And in this case, the analyst number 2 as well decides to close off the alert. By doing so, again, I have the option to note down a reason for that. So whether it's resolved, whether it's maybe a duplicate, etc. And oftentimes, if we want to, avoid particular alerts happening in the future, we may want to decide as well to close existing alerts with the same threat ID. Or, for example, automatically close all future alerts with the same, in this particular threat ID. So that's up to the analyst number 2, obviously. So from here, we are closing the alert and the workflow finishes here. Hopefully this video was useful for you. If you want to learn more about all Carbon Black products, then please visit carbonblack.vmware.com.